What is the crack, folks? Welcome along to episode number 85 of the Gym Advisors podcast with myself, Andy Collar, and today I am absolutely delighted to be joined by the incredible Catherine Ryan of Ryan Marketing Solutions. Catherine, how the hell are you?
I'm great, Andy. Absolutely fine, and I'm actually really excited about doing this now. It's been a long time kind of waiting, and I can't wait for it to get going and everything like that.
Myself and yourself have worked together for a little while now on different bits and pieces. You're always encouraging us to and your clients to go out and about and push themselves, so I'm delighted to get you to sit down. Finally, I've nabbed you to sit you down and get you working on a podcast.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
Class. So look, based on that little small bit of an intro, people are going to know that this conversation is a little bit different to most of our conversations. But look, I'm going to start it the way I started with absolutely everybody and get you to tell us a little bit about yourself.
So, as you know, I'm Catherine Ryan of Ryan Marketing Solutions. I am a fitness fanatic, I suppose, and this is why I link so well with this. I've been both personally and professionally been in the fitness industry for years now. But I run a business called Ryan Marketing Solutions, and it's a marketing services and consultancy business based in Tipperary in South Ireland. So look, I suppose that's the short long of it. I could talk forever, but I've done all the, I suppose, relevant qualifications you want to call it. I went to Waterford Institute, did an undergrad, did masters, did whatever you want to say with it. But I suppose marketing and sales there's a disconnect, and it was one reason why I started running my business, because people don't understand it. And I love helping small businesses mostly, in a wide different industries between fitness, agriculture, and things. But a lot of my clients are in the fitness industry, because I like seeing them, whether it's small wins, big wins, going from a small company to a massive company. I like seeing them grow. I like seeing them grow both professionally as a business, but also personally as themselves. And I suppose that's why I love what I do.
Unreal. And just anyone who's watching this on YouTube or in the Gym Advisors community will have seen me writing stuff down here. The couple of things that you kind of touched on there are really interesting. One of them is you mentioned just marketing sales disconnect. Talk to me about that. What's that whole thing about? Why do you think there's such a disconnect there?
Yeah, I suppose a lot of businesses think that marketing is an expense. Yes, it is, don't get me wrong. But it also is actually a major investment. If you don't have marketing, how in God's name are you going to make sales? Like, it's just simple. And what's happening is people think that if they have sales up, they'll get it. But they don't realise that them sales up are marketing them as a company as well as anything else. So if they don't understand how to market that product that you have, product, service, whatever you do, how are you going to make those in sales? People just think it's like, oh, I give the marketing department 25 grand and what did I get from it? But they don't realise it's 25 grand could have got them that million worth of sales, but they just don't understand it. And it was just working in my different industries and my different companies that I did before I started my own company that I could see that massive difference. Now, I had battles on battles with the senior management or anything like that, going like, I need more money. It's not to waste, it's to actually get you those more sales. And a lot of companies and a lot of businesses, they give like a small marketing buzz because they don't think it's up, but they invest in this whole innovation. Yes, that's good, but they don't realise that unless they get sales in from marketing, they can't do those innovations to sell those products. So it's just that's kind of the reason why I started, because I want to get people to understand that they're together, they work, they're in sync, and in turn, that's what makes you a business.
And it just everything you've said there kind of goes back to the old cliche of like, you can have the best thing in the world, but if no one knows that you're doing it, then you're not going to make those sales. Exactly. You can't improve. You can't stick around for the long term. And then in terms of your work, you said you worked in different industries, agriculture, tourism, whatever else, but fitness industry is kind of where you seem to have kind of found your niche. Yeah. You've mentioned that you've kind of personally and professionally worked there. Why the fitness industry, and why did you want to focus on there kind of the majority of your time?
I think like many people setting off, I went to the gym, I went everything to lose weight, and I had this aesthetic goals. But I have to say that I started off in a local gym, and then I was commuting to work about an hour and 15, and I found a gym halfway. And the minute I walked in, and I just was like, what am I doing? Within 2 weeks, I was all about strength training. It was all about seeing the level of what I could do, going from lifting a 2K dumbbell to like 20 kg dumbbell. It's the empowerment that it gave me that I was like, whoa, this is so much more than anything. And then as I went on, I understand that, you know, unless you're not going to train heavy and stuff like that, you can't build muscle. So I just enjoyed training for sadly, I'd say about 2 years or whatever, just going in and making sure I was lifting heavier and progressing. And it was such a good community within the gym. Absolutely loved it. That I was like, what's my next thing? Because I've been an Irish dancer when I was younger. I played sports all my life. So I was in a dancer for a number of years. And at that stage, I went to the gym and it transformed my dancing. So then I was like, oh, and then I decided it was dancing. I kind of finished off. I had achieved everything I wanted with it, and life and as going, I retired from Irish dancing. And then I was like, what am I going to do? And just by having conversations, then I decided to do the whole like photo shoot thing and all that jazz. And it was just, I never had, and look, it was absolutely brilliant. It was the challenge that I needed at the time, and I made it, but it's got so much bigger now in the industry. And I'm just like, you don't need to look like that all the time. And from there until now, like the gym is my out. It's where I leave go of my stress. It's actually where I do a lot of my thinking. And it's where in the middle of like doing a deadlift and hitting a PP, I'll be like, oh, this one I want to do with this client in an hour. So it like helps me both business and professionally. And then it's because I love every element of it. I love the nutrition side. I love the training side. I love knowing how the body adapts so easily and so quickly and hard sometimes. And like it takes so much to build muscle and all things like that. It just makes me, I have such a passion for the industry itself as a personal level. And then when it goes to professional, I'm like, well, I know what you're on about because I do this all the time. And I suppose that's why a lot of my clients are in the fitness industry, is because anything that's going on, whether it's, I'd say all my downtime could be watching YouTube clips about fitness sometimes. And I'm like, I really don't have a good life, do I really? And then I'm like, actually I do, because this is what I like. So it helps both professionally and personally as well.
It's unreal. Like if anyone who's listening or watching or whatever they're doing, this it just radiates off you that the love of fitness as well, and that kind of growth that you've come from. Exact same as basically everyone else that approaches the industry. They want to lose weight or they want to do it for an aesthetic reason, and then the people who stick around long term generally find that either the strength or the mental health side of things or whatever. So they find something bigger and better than just the aesthetic part of it, you know.
Yeah,
but look,
that's it.
I'm glad to have got that, because that really gives a real insight into you. And just as a brief note, I know well you do all your thinking in the gym, because I've often got voice notes from you, whether you're on the bike or you're in between sets or whatever. So I know the crack. I know the crack with you.
I do apologise for that, because sometimes you might be able to hear me.
No, I get them. Don't worry. But look, so the reason we have you on, I'm delighted to have got a kind of a bit of an insight into who you are and what you're trying to do. But earlier this week, we also released an article. So this is the reason we wanted to have you on here. Like we released an article on thegymadvisors.ie/blog that you wrote for us, and it really dives deep into kind of the marketing tactics that are that have been kind of the trends that have been in the industry the past couple of years, and then what's going to happen in the next wee while, and you're kind of the trends that are going to emerge. If anyone is listening and has got this far in, pause this now, go to thegymadvisors.ie/blog. If you're listening to this anytime soon, it'll be the first one there. If it's any time in the future, just search Catherine Ryan and it'll pop up. But make sure you go and listen and read that first. I think it's a 12-minute read. But look, now that everyone has paused that and has come back, Catherine, what I want to do is expand on some of the points in that blog. And I suppose the first thing to do, though, is before we get into the trends and the future kind of what's the ongoing, what's going to happen in the industry, I want to ask you, as we move towards the end of 2021, what should people be doing to kind of put themselves in a position to really have a good 2022?
Yeah, I suppose there's a lot of different things. And what I'm going to say, sometimes people are like, oh, I could have got that at Google. But it's on Google for a reason, so it's why you need to do it. But I suppose it then depends. You have to be really focused on the fitness industry when it comes to this. So something simple as, I know so many businesses, they go along, they've ruined their social media, they're doing their email marketing, they do everything. They don't look at what's working, what's not working. So the major thing coming in before you start anything is looking at what worked for you last year, what didn't work for you. What are the changes that happened with the customers that you have? Like COVID-19, I don't know if I can even say that really, but the pandemic, right? We'll say this with it, is got to do with has affected the whole industry a lot. Every industry, but it has affected the fitness industry a huge amount. And what used to be massive, so the gyms had a massive thing, and like online coaching was there, it wasn't a huge thing. Now it's absolutely massive. And what's happened is people had to, and the business have to have adapt. And what happened, what was there in 2019 was massive growth for the fitness industry, but then the business had to close, and they had to adapt to digital ways in order to keep their business afloat. But that has also transformed that them digital practices are not going anywhere, and customers has changed the way they do their fitness. So people that I have known, they were gym fanatics, but now they love doing home workouts. And they're like, oh, I like doing my long walks up the mountain or everything like that. They've changed the way they've done. And the pandemic or COVID-19 has literally done that for them. And so now going forward is 2022, it is going to change more and more again, because there's so much uncertainty with the economy, with the way things are going. In different countries, like people are going lockdowns, up, down, upside. So unfortunately, business need to look at what they're doing now, their systems they're doing now, their procedures, their processes, what they're doing now, and what can make them adapt to go forward to what's happening and what will happen. So look at your small business mostly, and like, because I know a lot of the gym advisors are kind of small businesses, in a sense of they need to look at, do the systems and the processes of a big firm, do a big fitness firm. So it could be a gym organized at 20 gyms around the country or whatever. You have to look big in order to get big. If you're only going to keep at doing the same thing all the time, you're not going to get there. You have to have short-term goals, long-term goals, whatever it is. But by looking at what you previously did in 2021, in 2020 even, you'll be able to see, right, I invested my time, I invested a certain amount in social media marketing. Did it get me anything? If it did, what was my target audience within that got me that? With anything that has to do with business, if you do not know your target audience, if you do not have goals, if you do not have anything like that, if you don't have strategies, and the one thing is, strategy is a word that's just literally thrown out there. And basically a strategy is literally, how are you going to do a certain thing to get to your goal? There's all these, like, it's a key word that's just thrown out there throughout marketing, but it is a huge part of businesses. And if you do not have a strategy, you don't have an overall strategy, you don't have a marketing strategy, if you don't have a social media marketing strategy, you don't have a digital marketing, all of these, they're all strategies to get you to overall goals. So if you want to be a 6-figure online fitness coaching business, and you don't have your goals and your practices and your procedures in place to get you there, sorry, but you're never going to get there. So it's literally like, you need to sit down, do a page, write our page of, in the end of 2022, I want to be here. How am I going to get there? I'm going to do email marketing, I'm going to social media marketing, I'm going to use user-generated content, I'm going to whatever, network as much as possible. All these things are tactics, and all these things businesses need to do, because if they don't, they're going to be falling behind. And unfortunately, with the fitness center, it's so saturated between these online coaches coming on, and it's kind of a pet peeve of mine, and I'm pretty sure it's yours too, Andy, but these online fitness people that don't have any credentials giving out nutrition advice and training advice, and they know nothing. They only know what they've done themselves, or their coaches taught them, and then they think they can sell their booty workouts for $20 and all this. Like, yes, right, it has its place, it's there, but at the same time, they're not qualified. Like, I could not give out business advice, marketing advice to anyone unless I had the qualification on my back. Okay, I could, but morally it's wrong, ethically it's wrong, whatever way you want to go, it's wrong. So it's the same thing. So you need to make sure as a business that you are literally like keeping up with the trends of what's going to happen. So, but also not looking back, and it's networking. I don't care what anybody says. Word of mouth and networking is not going anywhere. So that is literally things that you need to do, is literally do that. So people buy off others about people that post them what they think. So if they think your service is really bad, their friends aren't going to go to. Now, the other side to it is, I'm going a bit of a rant here and tangent, Tanya, I'm sorry.
Oh, I love it.
Marketing as well is used as marketing, but marketing is all got to do with being and linking to the emotional and impact and being empathy and all these kind of key things with the customer. Right? If you could have the worst product on the planet or service or whatever you want to say, but if you can market it, that's the best thing ever, it'll do this for you, of course you're going to make sales, right? But the next thing is customers aren't stupid. So you make that one sale, they will never come back to you again. And it's harder to get a customer than is to retain one. And customers have to see a minimum of 7 times and all this jazz to be able to make a purchase. So like, it's not you throw something out there, hope it sticks. You have to really know your customer. You can use these terms like buyer personas, target audience, niche, and all these. But basically, you need to know what's your age category of your customer, what are their habits, good or bad, where are they located, what do they want from you, and what can you provide them. If you can do that, you're going to succeed. Then it's trying to come up with the content, quality over quantity now. If you do up then your content to reach those, then you're going to make sales. Customers are not stupid anymore. The digital marketing platforms have completely changed that. Before, businesses would be like, oh, I'm the best business in the world. The customers used to go there because they didn't know any different. That was the thing. Now, Google is great. Social media is great. So the first thing people will do before they buy from you is they'll Google you. So that's why SEO is really important. So search engine optimization is really important. Both actually now in social media and Google itself. You need to know how Google performs, but you need to know how social media performs. So like Instagram and stuff like that, they're changing the way that they kind of say, look, it doesn't really have an impact, but it kind of does. So if you're doing alt text on your social media posts, that's going to help you with your Google ranking as well. Kind of secondary because you're doing it, but Instagram's on Google. So they kind of help with everything like that. And like, everyone's like, oh, social media, no, SEO is dead. SEO is not going anywhere. The unfortunate thing with SEO is it's really tedious and it's long and it's a long haul rather than short on wins. If you put up a social media post, put some paid advertising behind it, you may make a sale quite easily. But social media is changing so much. So say, for example, organic reach on Facebook right now is like, oh, what is it? It's maybe like, we'll say 2.5%, whatever. But if you do paid, it's 9.2. So there's and even in the fitness itself as well, it's like 14 point something. So like the reach people get by using paid on social media is a lot. And that's unfortunately, that's how these platforms make their money, is through paid advertising. But then there's strategies behind that as well. And organic is always best than paid because no business have endless amount of money. None. So like, I suppose just to kind of fully kind of and go back to actually what your question really was, because I went on a bit of tangent there. So basically it's using like, it's basically knowing what you did before and how you can improve going forward. It's knowing your target audience. It's utilizing all the new strategies that's coming out of platforms. So it's definitely been on social media. It's definitely been email marketing. It's definitely been networking with the people around you. It's making sure that your businesses and your processes and your systems and all that are like set up as a big firm, so that you're just not, because like, have automation in everything that you can do. It reduces your time. People get caught up in the day-to-day business of running. So simply as like invoicing people, okay, yes, it's important, but that's taken away from your clients that you're trying to coach or your PT clients that you're trying to do. It has to be done, but maybe it's a time where you look at, do I need to do this myself? Could I outsource it? Could I bring in people? It's trying to reduce your costs, but increase your efficiency in the very, very like short term. And this all can be done. It's just, you have to sit down and take the time to do it, and take your rest when you need it. If you feel like absolute death, do not work, because you'll burn out and then you won't be able to make money. So it's better when you feel tired to rest, recover, and then go forward. Same with the gym. If you don't rest and recover, you're never going to build muscle. You're never going to be able to do that in life. Same thing with your business. think about that.
As you were talking there, even earlier on in that bit of conversation, you were talking about the jargon that was in marketing, and I think there's a lot of similarities between the fitness industry and the marketing industry. A lot of people look at the fitness industry, they see all the jargon, they see all the work that has to go into it, and it's because there's so much information on social media and the internet about it. They go, "Whoa, it's not for me," or I'll dip my toe in, but then I'll fall away or whatever. I think similar enough, and you can tell me if I'm wrong here, but it feels like that's similar enough to the marketing world and having all those strategies and having the buyer personas and all this sort of stuff. There's so much jargon in it, but when someone like yourself breaks it down and makes it simple, there are clear steps that you can take to get to where you want to go. A lot of it comes back to having that goal and then either knowing yourself how to get there or having someone like yourself to help them to get there,
Yeah, because sometimes, like even myself, sometimes it's having that someone's country. Like for me, like I've always, like I've coaches throughout my life, throughout my fitness and just into my fitness. Like I had a coach for my Irish dancing, I had a coach for my fitness, whatever. But they're experts in what they do. They tell me what they do because they've studied it. But it's more so for just accountability. A lot of my clients, they literally just want someone there to be like, is this right? Is this wrong? Will it get me this or will it get me to goal? It's literally like they send me a WhatsApp message or ring me and be like, and I'd be like, that is the most stupidest idea you've ever come up with. Oh, that's fantastic. Yes, fire on. It's literally just having someone there to be there. So no matter what element of your life is, like, whether you, like, get a business mentor if you can afford it. Yes, there's a lot of, especially within the fitness industry, there's a lot of these like education kind of groups that are there. Not all of them, unfortunately, a lot of businesses can't maybe invest in that, which is fine, and they're brilliant if you can. But a lot of the time is there's so many people within those, the content then that's been actually pushed out is so much the same. Customers are literally like, well, I just seen that post by Mary Jo over there, and now James McLaughlin is putting it up there. These are generic hypothetical names now as well, okay? Like, then I'm just like, well, that person literally they're in the same thing because they've literally put out, like, I remember so many times I'd be on social media and I follow a lot of fitness people because I absolutely love, and I love educating myself all the time. And that's the one thing with business, always educate yourself, always upskill. But like one person put out the post an hour before the next person, and then an hour later the same post went out. The only thing that was different was the colours or a picture, but the same content. I was like, you could have waited about 3 months in the difference or something.
I see that. Obviously, with the Gym Advisor, we follow a lot of fitness accounts and stuff, and we see the exact same thing. Now, there's an argument to be made that most people aren't following as many accounts as we are, so maybe there's a little bit in it. But maybe. As you say, it's not great when you see the same content coming out. It's not coming from organically from one person anyway.
No, so, it's not. Yeah, and then just on that as well is always, I always say this, always be nice. There's nothing wrong with being nice. People love being talked to and been engaged with. And unfortunately, that's what social media is. So you have to engage, you have to be nice. So if someone actually puts up a good post, write some lovely comment on it, they'll love you forever. You will make their day, right? So you don't take anything else from this. Be nice to your community. You want to build a community and engage with them, and they'll love you forever.
I love that. We could nearly end it there, Catherine. But come here, that blog that you wrote as well, it's kind of broken down into two big sections. One is the trends, and then the other is how to kind of capitalize on the trends and how to kind of get 2022 off to a great start. I'll list the kind of the headings, and I don't want to go deep dive into all of them or whatever, but like user generated content, influencer marketing is getting better, personalized solutions, visual/video marketing, and then an omni-channel approach. User-generated content. I'm assuming you're talking sort of reviews and lots of stuff.
Yeah.
And kind of testimonials and winning stories and all that sort of stuff. And then kind of snowball that into like how to capitalize on that. How does someone get to the point where that's a winner on social media and for it's a good content plan or a good part of their content plan?
Yeah. So with reviews, they go towards social media, they go towards SEO. So they're bringing in all your strategies that you can use all in one. So basically, like, for example, like one thing is like if you don't have a website, a lot of people should have websites, or even if it's one page or something. And like things like Google My Business, all those, people aren't utilising them. Google My Business, you can have a free website, quite easy and simple with those. You don't have to go out and pay thousands and thousands for a website. Like a simple thing can do the job as well. It's more or less for a landing page for people to go to so that they can see what you do, what you're about, and what people say about you. Also, that's really good with come to social media. So social media allows that. But simple as, and it's something that I suppose that got me so much into what the Gym Advisors do and everything like that, and why I love everything about it, is the fact that you allow people, if they don't have a website, to be able to showcase the reviews for them. And if they can showcase them on their social media and everything like that with it, and then people can be like, okay, I know what they're saying. Like Google My Business. Google, obviously, if you get reviews on Google My Business or Google in general, it's going to help with your ranking on Google. But people forget this. Reviews, like I said, word of mouth is not going anywhere. This is why people will buy for certain others. But don't get me wrong, it takes time to build up. And you have to have a right approach to asking for reviews. You can't just go to every single general person, oh, give me a review. Give me a review, and it has to be 5-star. It has to be 5-star. That is not going to work either. Like you give the people no option but to give you the review, because you give a great service, you provide a great product. With anything with business, if you do a good service and you do a good product, you will be absolutely fine, as long as people know that you're there.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I love that. And one of the things that I like about the site that we offer is that it's an independent place, and it's not just on your social media and stuff like that. So I think that's a nice thing that we do.
Yeah, and I suppose with the user generated as well, it's about showcasing what other people do. Like if I find a really good post from, we see Mickey Joe Hart, right, that did a good post about nutrition, and I shared that, there's no harm in me repurposing that content. Just give them credit. Sometimes you're never going to be absolutely fantastic and know everything. You can't. There's going to be people there that's better than you all the time. All you can do is keep learning, upskilling. So if Mickey Joe Hart does a great review, or does a great reel, or does a great podcast, or does a great whatever, literally tell your community about it. Mickey Joe Hart did a great thing, and just credit him, and he'll love you, and your community will love you because they'll learn more, and then they'll see it's all about community. The fitness industry is massive community. Yes, there's different components to the fitness industry. Yes, more are bigger than others and everything like that. But if you build the fitness industry as a community, like bringing the social back to social media, that's what will stand you out, and customers can relate more and more to that, because they're like, oh, they actually see others, they feel like it's all about community, really.
Yeah, I think one of the things with social media now is anyone who claims to know everything is either going to be really successful, or people are going to look at them and go, "You don't know anything, and you're acting the dick." So so that's not the ideal marketing strategy to have, is people thinking you're a dick.
No.
But this is not intentional. But speaking of people being dicks, one of your headings is influencers. Influencer marketing is getting better. Now, you also earlier on you did talk about influencers and not so much influencers, but people without qualifications, all that sort of stuff. Talk to me about influencers and talk about why it's getting better and the good type of influencers that are out there.
Yeah, so as me and you both know, Andy, there is bad influencers out there. Customers are no longer stupid. So say if you have 1 million followers on thing, but every second day you're promoting a different product, sorry, you're not going to get that companies or them brands that you're promoting sales. You're not. So the way influencer marketing was 2 years ago is completely different to now. Influencer marketing, what I'm on about, is really, yes, have some like macro influencers. So macro, I mean like maybe 1 million things that are actually linked to your brand, but the micro accounts are making shapes, because they're not into, I'm going to say it, but they're not into the showing off their booty or showing off their six-pack. They're into more actually providing education, providing knowledge. Like so many lads out there, I know they're absolutely brilliant what they do, but they have so much more if they could if they had a lovely arse, like if they were a girl. But like they just possibly can't. And like people aren't stupid anymore. They understand that education, value, everything like that is more. Like when it comes to social media marketing, it's 80% education, inspiration, all those lovely sites, and 20% sales. Yes, you have to do your pitch for sales. Do not get me wrong, you have to make sales. How can you survive if you don't make sales? But you have to obviously educate and provide value. If you do not, and you're sales, you'll make no sales at all. Like you won't, because people aren't stupid anymore. So when I talk about influencer market growing, I'm really on about the real, authentic, real life. It's the ones going on social media with the no makeup and they're having a bad day with their children, and they're showcasing this. That they're actually showing their real life. It's the time where people say I've done wrong, in a sense of like a PT or whatever. I don't like when PT show clients with stupid form. Teach them how to do right form. So if they say, I would respect them more if they go, look, this person's form isn't right. We've done this is to correct it. So they've educated, they've showcased that they can do the job, but they're also educating. Regarding it, and like, look, anything really in digital is changing so much. I could say today, right, reels are the biggest thing on Instagram right now. Biggest thing, right? Never going, right? Absolutely massive. IGTVs are no longer existent. But this time, 2 months' time, God knows, stories could be the big thing. Or a brand new thing will be coming, and there are a lot of new things coming to social media as well. But like, it's changing so much. But it's going back to basics. It's remembering that customers want value. So, influencer market, micro accounts are doing brilliant with the 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 things. Because, yes, they're trying to build up, but they're not with the millions. They're being really real. They use products that use services and everything like that that they really enjoy. And they're just literally, they're just great. And they're lovely to deal with as well.
Well, look, so in order, like, obviously anyone at this stage, if you haven't gone and read it, make sure you go and read it. How to do that and how to kind of integrate yourself with those types of influencers is in the blog. But I want to take a little bit of a break, do things a little bit different here. Catherine, what you're adding 3 songs to, even though you're not a member of the Gym Advisors, we still want you to be adding songs to the workout playlist. Give us your first song.
Andy, when you had to make me pick these, I was like, I could listen to Disney, to fucking House, to Anthem when I'm training, right? But I narrowed it down to these. I think they're kind of old school and they're kind of good or whatever. So it's I Don't Care by Ed Sheeran and Justin Bieber.
The tune.
Timber by Pitbull and Kesha.
Class.
And Level Up by Kira.
Honestly, God, Catherine, I was, before we started recording here, I was through those 3 songs on. I've heard them all obviously before, but between the 3 of them, they were absolutely class. I really like bopping away to them. And the fact that you were saying about you could listen to Disney or House or anything else, that's the whole point of the playlist. The playlist has absolutely...
I don't think listening to Disney though when you're trying to hit the PT on a leg press really goes too well. But like, sorry, sometimes I just have to do it. And I swear to God, people talk. Sometimes I don't listen to any music. I'm like, I just have the AirPods in, so no one can come up and talk to me, so I can be in the zone, but like not listen to anything either.
Well, that's a good strategy in fairness. But another thing, you talked there about listening to Disney when you're doing leg press. I'm going to test that out. We're going to do a video at some stage and we're going to have Disney over a really motivational leg press or PB or anything like that. And I guarantee it'll do quite well. And speaking of that, you talked in the blog a little bit about kind of visual and video content above and beyond even photo, but also text as well. Talk to me a little bit about that. I know you've said that it's all changing, it's all shifting sands here, but like video content really is king. Like talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, like it's been there for a long time now. Like just simple Instagram Reels video, 15 seconds. Instagram Reels, 15 seconds. Try and do them, you'll be on to winner with trending music. You'll be on to something good. But like it's all about they want to get the information quick, snappy, and to the point straight away. And video allows you to do that. And they get to see the different elements. Like your conversions when you do videos, everything like that is probably going to be much more. But now, like if you're just videoing something very silly, that's not probably going to perform. Now, it might perform actually better than some static posts, but in general, you won't get you won't get conversion. So like Instagram Reels, for example, it's great for awareness. It's great for getting your name out there. It's great for everything. But the static carousel feed posts on social media and on Facebook and actually on LinkedIn is a massive thing as well. They're going to get you the sales. So there's different features on every single social media platform to the different things that will allow you to reach certain goals and tactics or whatever, or sales or whatever you want to do it. But like video on LinkedIn, for example, is huge. So the organic reach on LinkedIn now is even better maybe than Facebook organic reach in 2012. So if you are B2B, LinkedIn is the place to be. If you are more B2C, yes, LinkedIn has its purpose as well. If you're trying to hit like going working into like businesses and stuff like that, and it's all linked to with the wellness and all that side. But like B2C is your Facebook and your Instagram and your TikTok. TikTok, like Instagram is trying to compete with all the platforms. That's why it's coming out Instagram Reels to compete with TikTok. Same with YouTube has come out with Shorts to compete with Instagram Reels and TikTok, and all those. But like YouTube's the second biggest search platform as well. And this is why videos is huge as well. So because Google is obviously the first, everyone knows this, but the second place people go is to YouTube. I say I spend a lot of my time watching YouTube rather than TV. It's both great for learning, it's great for just general education, it's good for literally just to watch garbage as well, just for plain things. Like, so that's why video is so big and it's never going to go anywhere, because like you get to build that connection, you get to build the community of whatever you are with these vlogs and everything like that with it. And like podcasts are huge as well. Especially like the podcasts, like obviously all your podcasts go on YouTube as well, the Gym Advisors, but a lot of businesses do the same, and it gets you out there and gets you to connect with the people that you never known. So for example, like say it's bodybuilding industry, there's a matter of changes. It's opened a lot of doors for people to be able to connect with the bodybuilders of America or England and stuff, or even just the general fitness people, or even anything really. But like social media has allowed people want you to say how it is. So it's unspeakable really. But like if you want steroids, people want to know you're on steroids, right? And unfortunately, that's the one element of the fitness industry that isn't good, is the anabolic steroids, and it's all those things. And look, it's changing, it's very good. People are more open and honest about it, and people are realising the effects of it. And YouTube has actually been very good for that, because people sit down and go through the different things. It's also opened up to a lot of the depth in the different industry. And look, there's so many different elements of fitness. There's bodybuilding as a sport, there's just general fitness, there's like whole like there's so many elements, there's yoga, there's Pilates, there's so many elements to the fitness industry that's allowed. So if you have 20 minutes, you can throw on a YouTube clip and do Pilates class. Before, you had to go to a facility to be able to do those. So look, it's a pros and cons, but it's opened up the way people can do business. It's opened up the opportunity for you, if you want to become a multinational company across the world, you can do that if you want to from your living room, because you can get access to the different things with it as well, because YouTube has allowed that, and social media and digital in a sense has allowed that.
One thing that I do want to finish up with is, especially when you're talking there about like becoming a multinational company, a larger company, whatever it may be, grow your following, grow your audience, grow your business, is keeping it personal. So like one of the lines in the blog is something like, people say too much of one thing is a bad thing, or too much of everything is a bad thing, or too much of anything is a bad thing. But one thing that's not, doesn't fall into that bucket, is personalization. And there's no such thing as making someone feel too cared for. Talk to me about personalizing your content, but more so obviously we're talking more emails and that sort of stuff, direct marketing here. Talk to me about making sure people feel that they're a part of something.
Yeah, so it's basically hitting their problems, their pain points. It's basically solving those problems for them. but it's literally being you. The way you should share your content is the way you want to receive content. So before you do anything, sit down and be like, would I enjoy this? Would I get value from this? If you don't put it out there. If you do, put it out there. Now, there's sometimes you have to kind of step out of your comfort zone and you have to do things to see will it work. Yes. But like people, especially with what's going on, like there's so many people, like mental health is a massive thing across everything, especially in the fitness industry. And people just want to know that you're there for them. You could be anybody from Japan, Australia, Ireland, and if they feel like you are there for them, whether it's just through a little message, through a little comment, same as I said before, be nice. Be nice will get you anywhere. And it's the same thing with this. Just try and build a community. Like, so if you're part of a group and you people helping you, you're going through a bad day, and they just literally go, I hope you're feeling well, or do this might help you, in a small community, to help you grow your business, to help you go mentally, to help you go physically, whatever it is, you'll feel like, I actually may even know this person. You mean I've never have met them in your whole entire life? And the amount of connections I've made through platforms online, and I can literally feel like they're nearly your sister at some stage, and like, but they, or your brother or whatever, but they may not be, but it's just because they give me value. They make you feel like you're wanted. You can literally hide this. You could be the worst person. You could hate them to kingdom come, right? Just don't let them see that. Make sure, and a lot of people will see through it anyways. People are not stupid.
Yeah.
So it's literally just making everyone feel genuinely and believe in what you believe in. So, like, don't change your beliefs because you think it's going to get you more sales. Don't. Your brand and your company should be built on what you believe in, your passions, your determination, your goals, everything you want to do. If I didn't believe in what I want to do, I definitely wouldn't have a company that I have now. I offer very bespoke services to my clients because that is me. My colouring, my branding, everything you want to do about me represents me as a person. So if you look at my logo, it's colourful, it's bubbly, it's everything, because that's me as an individual. Andy, you can say different now, but I think it's true, right? So at the same time, that's what you need to do. But you sell a person. Like, yes, it's about brands. Yes, you have to have a brand to have a business, but it's more about the personal effect. So in your email, say, hi, Mary from whoever, simple things like that. It's not these automated generic things that you know that you're not welcome, so you're never going to get a sale on. If you're trying to go out and get a new client, like, simple as send them a video. They feel like you're wanted. They feel valued because you took that 5 minutes, 2 minutes, literally send them a voice note, send them a video, go, hey, look, thanks so much for the follow. Hope you're keeping well. Look, if I can do one thing, look, I know I can see that you're from Japan, but I can help you. Like, literally, like, just something simple as that is they were like, that could make that person's day. And if you make that person's day that day, they probably will buy from you down along the line.
You mentioned there that I would say a different Catherine. I don't think anyone listening to this or watching this would dare say you weren't bubbly and colourful and out there and everything else. So honestly, God, you've been class today. I don't want to finish up just yet, but I do want to say that you're a pleasure to work with, and I think anyone who does get to work with you is very, very lucky. If I was to sum up, I don't want to let's if I kind of do a little bit of a summary of the blog. You talk about, particularly towards the end, you talk about casually selling. You talked about that a wee while ago. The hard sell doesn't really work. Utilizing social, we talked a little bit about that, and then you kind of finish up on leveraging your website. And in that, you kind of talk about SEO, search engine optimization, pay-per-click campaigns, and this is stuff that people should be doing, but it's kind of the next level up beyond what the kind of the social media side of things. And one thing that I think the Gym Advisor does well is bring everyone together and get everyone the benefit of doing that sort of stuff. But obviously, people should and can do those things individually themselves, you know.
Yeah.
But look, the one thing that I do want to finish up with here is because of the reason we're doing this is A, you wrote the blog, but B, we are launching you as a partner of the Gym Advisors, which anyone who's seen thegymadvisors.ie/partners will see that our members get exclusive discounts and free trials and everything from Irish businesses that we've worked with. They don't pay us a penny, but we just think they're really cool and they offer a good service or a product or whatever. And for yourself, Catherine, you are offering our members a free consultation call just to get a vibe for what they're doing, how you can help them, what they kind of need to do in terms of get a feel for where they are. And then 20% off any package that is 3 months plus, and 15% off anything that's less than 3 months. That is, anyone who's listened to this, anyone who's read the blog will know that is great value. And I'll be like, we work together. I'll leave a review as much as I can. I would shout it from the rooftops that Catherine Ryan is a great addition to the industry. And thanks very much for coming on, Catherine.
No thanks at all, Andy.
Actually, I skipped right ahead there. Tell us where people can find you first of all. I'm not gonna edit this out, but tell people where you can be found.
Yeah, so I suppose I can be found on a lot of different platforms, from Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn at Ryan Marketing Solutions. I think my Facebook actually is Ryan Marketing Solutions Ireland, if I'm not mistaken. But if you just Google Ryan Marketing Solutions, you probably come. If you see a very bubbly, colourful logo, that's me. And then on LinkedIn it's the same, Ryan Marketing Solutions, and then my personal LinkedIn is Catherine Ryan 94. Please don't hesitate in reaching out, connecting, all that jazz. So as I said before, networking is king. So don't be hesitant in reaching out. My DMs, my messages, my emails are always open, and my website is www.winemarketingsolutions.ie.
Class, Catherine. Again, thanks very much for coming on. You're an absolute star.
No bothers at all, Andy.
To the rest of you though, as always, hasta la fitness, baby.